It's Azarathlos here. I'm just making this video guide to explain to people why some maps can cause computers to slow down. I'm not talking about lag here. I'm talking specifically about frame drop, or like making your actual computer slow down, independent from your internet connection. How would I explain it this way? Lag and slowdown are both issues that affect gameplay in a similar manner. Things run overall like slow, or there's delay, but how they're triggered and how they act is different. Lag is strictly connection based. You can have the best computer, but if your connection is garbage, you'll have a slow and clunky gameplay. You know those people who load like super fast, but in game they ignore hits, or they can't hit anything in game, or blame everyone else for lagging. It's that kind of issue. That's lag. Slowdown is computer based. You could have the best connection. You could have like a perfect instant connection to the servers, but if your computer itself is garbage, you'll have slow and clunky gameplay. You know those people who load slow but play reasonably well, unless some jerk with rapid fire overload decides to hit them. It's this kind of thing. And then I'm going to explain how some maps can affect this kind of issue, like this slowdown effect. Oh, and just to get this straight, maps don't cause lag, they cause slowdown or frame drop, whatever I call it slowdown because I'm used to the term, but some people might call it different. But it's not lag. It's your computer slowing down. First map I'm going to go through is Colony City. It's a fairly simple map, square in design with some buildings here and there. It's seemingly not that bad to load. Most people have very little issue with it. However, some people will, and they will have no idea why, because it's just a few buildings. It's a square map. What could be causing it? Well, the answer to that is above. Look up, way up. You'll see there's details of a colony interior that's surrounding the whole map, above you, around you, everywhere. Your computer has to process all of this in the background. Like, all of this will have to be processed, and you can't turn it off. If the computer doesn't like it, doesn't want to process it, well, you're going to have some major slowdown issues. You're going to have frame drops. You're going to have problems that you wouldn't expect to have on a map like this. Alright, here's Gundam Fight. Another example of how out-of-bounds details can cause issues. This map is small and simple, a nice square. However, it can cause some people to slow down way more than in Colony City. If you walk to the edge of the map and look out, you'll see why. All that over there. Rippling water effects surround the whole stage, and it's all details that require processing power, and you can't turn it off. So all that water over there cause people issues, and you can't do anything about it in the game settings. Alright, off to the next map. This is African Desert, another simple map with the potential to cause unneeded slowdown. Yeah, well, it's just hills. Desert. You might think, what's so bad about it? Well, this is what this is the issue. If you have your effects like set to level 4, the desert map is covered with the sandstorm weather effect. It looks neat, fits the theme, but it can cause issues. Luckily, you can turn it off. Snowfield. This map is the same as African Desert. Well, it runs reasonably well until you turn on the weather effects. If weather effects affect your machine, make sure your effects are set to 3 or lower, so you'll be good. Grand Canyon. This is one of those maps that people won't get much slowdown in, but sometimes you might notice a bit, and you might not know why. Once again, instead of looking forward at your opponents, look up. You see this big thing burning in the sky? It's a fallen colony. Not many people realize it's there since they're typically looking at their enemies and fighting each other. But that thing you can't turn off, and it can cause issues. Like some people get frame drop just by looking at this thing. Another one is there's a weather effect on level 4. Colony laser. This stage is a simple one with copy and pasted scenery in a repeating pattern. Easy to load, but some people might have some minor issues. It's all because of out of bounds details. See, if you look around, there are a lot of moving parts up there. Things that your computer will have to process, but you can't do anything about. They don't change if you change the effect level. So for reference, there's actually a second version of the colony laser map. It has a lot more cover, a lot more pieces around you, but the map is smaller. Like, you can actually shoot someone and see someone on the far pillars and hit them. Base and fort, all versions. If you look at the map, there's a lot of reflective glass effects all over the place. This can cause potential slowdown on people's machines. Also, if you look carefully, it's a generic image that's being reflected, not what's on the other side, like what's on the other side of the glass, which is nice. If it was making true reflections, it would use more processor space, and sure, you'd see yourself in the glass, but your computer would hate it, and you'd get slowdown, or, well, yeah, you would get slowdown. Thankfully, the glass parts are breakable, and typically, as the map goes on, as the round goes on, more than 90% of this glass is going to be totally destroyed, and you won't have to worry about it. Alright, Onaguro and Alaska. Both these maps have rippling water surface and underwater effects. Yeah, they can, these two things can cause issues for people's computers. If your computer doesn't like handling water, like on here or on Gundam Fight, then you'll totally hate these maps. Colony Fall. I hate this map's design. The theme is great, like the fallen colony wreckage and stuff, but the spawn point layout is completely uneven, and I'm going off topic. Well, there's a couple of things that can cause slowdown on this map. First off is weather effect. In this version, the evening, cloudy day version of the map, it's raining and windy and stuff. It can cause issues if you have effect level 4. Next comes this thing, the colony wreckage itself. There are breakable pieces all over this thing. I mean, it's a jumbled assortment of breakable and non-breakable parts with different shapes and different textures. It looks like a mess. It's supposed to be a mess, but it's also an absolute mess for people's computers to process. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. There's little gaps and holes and whatever. Oh yeah, and also back to hating this map. Dreaded hill with invisible walls. You could dash, get caught in things at whatever. Yeah, I hate this map. Cyclops S1, the king of destructible terrain. Everything Come on. Break. Nearly everything on this map is breakable. However, it doesn't seem to cause that much slowdown for people because it is a literal copy and paste job. Like, this whole map, if you look in the top mini-map up there, I love this update for the mini-map thing. You look at the top mini-map, it's just a copy and paste job across the whole thing. So you don't have to load a whole bunch of separate parts. You only load like 10 different things that's copied everywhere. There's also that. Whee! Kyrgyz Battlefield, the Prince of Destructible Terrain. For some reason, even though this has less destructible parts than Cyclops, it seems to cause more issues for people. I have a feeling it's because there's more different types of breakable or destructible terrain than there is in Cyclops, and it's not the copy and paste job it is in the other map. It's all over the place. Break central church thing. You can break little walls. You can break some of these buildings. Like, if some of the rounds get pretty sketchy, there's not very much on this map left over. There's a few indestructible ones here and there. Like these ones. This one in the middle is probably indestructible. But yeah, all this breakable stuff can cause slowdown for some people, even though it is really a fun map to be in. It's got a nice arrangement of high points and low points, and let's see, it's got long shooting corridors, it's got nice pieces of cover that you can jump back and forth between. It's a great place to be. I really like it, even though it has potential slowdown for some people. Neo-Egypt. This map has two major issues that can cause slowdown. One can be turned off, one can't. I'll start with the one that can be turned off. It's weather effects. This map has, once it loads, a triple thick sandstorm effect at level 4. You notice, unlike the desert, I can't see very much into the distance once it loads up. It is just an absolute mess. It's a great effect, but really messes around, but it can really mess around with some people's computers. The second one, you'll see in a moment. This is Secret Jungle Base. It has this large elevator platform in the middle that moves up and down throughout the whole battle. If your PC doesn't have issues with moving parts, then you'll be completely fine. If you do, this is probably the worst one for you. It will cause absolute hell every time this thing starts moving. And yeah, it's not just the platform, it's all these boxes and walls that go along with it. And God help you if you're stuck in the middle of a spec animation and finish with this platform in the middle, finish with this platform in the middle of you, or being clipped in the middle of the platform. RS Satellite. This map is absolutely huge. Like, it is way, way too big. Like, oh, there's like a space up here that you can go into. It is way too big of a map, even for 6v6 combat. Loading this. Oh, what the hell? Is that Solomon? Yeah. Loading this map alone will cause people issues. It doesn't matter if there's glass or moving parts or whatever. Just because this thing is so big, it can cause some slowdown for some players, or hell, a lot of the players in the room, and it just leads to no fun. This is glorious, though. If you can get it going. Oh yeah. Oh. Aw. Whee. This is the only thing worth doing in this map, if you can get going. Jabro Base. For its theme, I really like this map. I really do. You're fighting the hidden underground base of the Federation military. Straight out of original Gundam. However, it's probably the second worst map for slowdown in the game. This map has an amazing amount of detail. I mean, just stop and look around if you ever have a chance. There's a full model of white base on one side. There's tunnels that lead off into nowhere, like all over the place. There's cliff edges and different buildings and all that. The problem is, people's computers have to load all of this stuff in order to actually play the round. Like all those details. All the hell? There are buildings up. Exactly, like there are buildings up there, all the way up there. You won't notice unless you looked at, like, if you bothered to look up and look around. I mean, and like ceiling details, like all this stuff. You have to, like, your computer has to load this. If it can't, you will have issues. It's not lag, because lag is your connection. It's slowdown. It's your computer choking as it tries to handle this. And then, yeah, burning fires and this smoke thing, whatever. Yeah, there's details all over the place, and your computer has to load it. If it can't, it will hate you. Alright, it's time for the kicker. Submarine Base. This map is the worst of the worst. It contains examples of every single unblockable aspect that can cause computer slowdown. For starters, it is a huge map. Like, it's not as big as RS Satellite, but it is pretty damn huge. The next worst thing, there are water surface effects. Hopefully this will translate well to YouTube, but across almost all the map. Ain't that great? If your computer hates processing water, enjoy. Next one after that, there are out of bounds details, parts outside of the map that can cause that your computer has to process, like the Archangel battleship. The whole thing, they put it in this map. Oh, and there's the next thing. Moving parts. Large sliding bay doors, and I believe there's waterfalls somewhere around here. There we go. And waterfalls. Yeah, that's great. Destructible terrain. It doesn't cause that much issue, but it's there. Reflective glass, there's some there. And there is some up there on the in the upper decks. Yeah, like computer has to process all of this, and if it can't, and a lot of people, if you don't have a really good computer, it can't. You'll experience slowdown. You'll experience frame drops. You'll it will severely hamper. Oh god, I didn't bother to look. I've never actually bothered to look down here. There's a moving thing. Whatever. Yeah, it will severely hamper your gameplay. Doesn't matter how fast your internet, in this case, it's how fast your computer, like how well your computer can handle it. Your internet connection will not make a difference. Now, if this map had weather effects, it would be a full sweep. Thank God it doesn't. But, well, at least weather can be turned off. I would highly recommend, if your master, set the maps to random, like selected random, and make sure this thing is off the list. You might be able to run this, like my computer now can run this thing, but I had issues before, but you might be able to run this, but that doesn't mean everyone is able to run this damn map. Like, get it off the list. It's a very, very good idea to make sure this map never appears. People don't have to play on this thing and suffer. Oh, yeah, there's like tons and tons of issues. But anyway, yeah, take this map off. Like, don't ever have it in the selection, please, for everyone's sake. One more. Here's a special mention. This is Arizona Base, as stated on the hangar things. But anyway, in earlier patches of STGO, this map used to have extreme slowdown issues, and there was absolutely no reason why. Like, it's decently large, but most of the buildings aren't breakable. And it's a very simple layout. But yeah, it caused like extreme slowdown. Like, I mean, like your screen would freeze for a couple seconds. This is before STGO appeared in North America. This is during KR, Korean version, a long time ago. But it used to cause extreme issues, and no one could really explain why. It's been fixed now, but I don't know why, and it doesn't really follow much. Fine, it's reasonably large, I guess, but other than that, like, it doesn't really follow any of the issues that I've stated in the other maps. I mean, like, there's nothing really out of bounds except for hills. There's destructible terrain, but it's the same part over and over again. They're just boxes. Yeah, most people don't have issues now, so it doesn't really matter. You can have this in the map list, and it's completely fine. But back in the day, it used to be horrendous. Okay, that's all. I hope some people do watch this video that I've made. I hope you take some of the information I've given to heart, and I really do hope it helps out. That's it, and take care.